Workshop 3 proposed to approach a reference building from the Cheste Worker University complex. It challenges the students to a deep understanding of the constituent parts of this modern architectural artifact to reproduce it in a paper-scale model. One of the most iconic buildings of the modern complex is the Paraninfo. It was the largest auditorium in Spain with 502,034 seats, mainly referenced to the Le Corbusier work. In this workshop, the methodology of paper cutouts was used to analyze the architecture of Paraninfo, trying to synthesize its composition and constructive structure.
The process started by visiting the building itself. The main goal of the visit was to look closely at the building interiors and exteriors, focusing on establishing how many parts the building is composed of. During this phase of the process, sketches of the building parts were essential for us to validate our observation. Comparing the sketches with the plans and the section of the building was the base for deciding the specific parts to design that would bring out Paraninfo's identity. The pieces were designed conceived to be printed, cut and glued. The second step was to check if the pieces were totally correct and made in the easiest way to assemble it. If some pieces weren't fitting or weren't done in the most convenient way, one had to redesign them. This process could be described pedagogically as a try-and-error method. Finally, all pieces were put together in a very precise and delicate way.
The decision to build just the half of the Paraninfo was to allow people to see and understand, in the exhibition, also the interior of the auditorium and galleries. With the help of a mirror, the complete volume of the building was shown to facilitate a better understanding of it. By rotating the model, one could see the complexity of the interior.
Making a cutout model is an effective way to understand and disseminate architecture and heritage. You can understand a building by looking at a model, but you will understand it better by assembling it and even better by designing it.
Compared to a classical model, it might require a bigger effort at the beginning, but at the end it will save time and material. It is almost magic and cheap to see that you can transform a two-dimensional material, like paper and cardboard, into a 3D model, just cutting, folding, and gluing the different pieces together with the help of new technologies.
To design a paper cutout model, you need to watch architecture through a new pair of lenses. A critical analysis of the building is required to understand both what defines its identity and how to deconstruct and synthesize it. The slow and rigorous process of making the model allows us to learn how to understand we could take advantage of the symmetry of the building. The model could simultaneously reproduce the interior and the completed exterior view of the building thanks to the use of a mirror.
When working in a group, a good and constant communication is required. Drawings were a medium to communicate, and we've learned by it making many mistakes and producing a lot of non-matching pieces. In 3 days, we've learned more than we could expect, and our expectations weren't low. It's a trial and error process, and all the mistakes we've made taught us many lessons. If starting a new project, we would definitively know which mistakes to avoid, but of course, we would find new ones to learn from.
The paper cutouts workshop was a very good way to understand more about modern architecture and its spatial and constructional mastery. Moreover, it was crucial to exercise teamwork for all the phases: the concept, production, and communication. The results were incredibly great, which gave us confidence as future architects to work with new people and experiment new mediums to research and produce architecture.